Hey everyone, welcome to another FM Synthesis custom patch tutorial. In this video I'll be showing you how to program vintage string 1. So I'm back. I'm a little bit delayed. There are a number of issues I had this month getting to this video. The main one was that my DX7 was playing up in a number of ways. The first one was that the screen was dimming and then eventually the system would shut down and restart, and it would keep doing this during the programming process. So I would get so far with a patch and then it would shut down and I'd lose the patch entirely. So unfortunately I had some issues with the power supply. I tried to work through it and film the episode anyway, but of course during filming, partway through the tutorial, it would shut down and then I'd have to start the filming again. So I decided to just stop and have a look at the DX7. What it turned out to be, thankfully, was quite simple. The voltage regulators in the power supply had fractured solder joints. So when I found that, all I had to do was simply resolder it, and now it's stable again. So that's good news. If you do have a Mark 1 DX7, they are prone to having one of the capacitors blow out as well. So if you find that you've got increased heat in the top right corner, and then if the system shuts down and you see smoke or a burning smell, then it could be that the capacitor in the power supply is blown out as well, which has also happened to my DX7. So this time it's actually contributed to me having a slightly delayed video. So thank you for being patient. I hope you do enjoy this one. The second thing that delayed the video was that I had already gotten to the point of programming the patch, which is vintage strings 1, and I had uploaded the sysex file to my Patreon page for my patrons at the start of the month. And one of them pointed out that the value that I'd put down for operator 1 for its frequency value didn't make sense because he couldn't find it. So if I go to operator 1, has a course frequency of 1.338 Hertz. Now let's actually try and make that happen. So I start in fine frequency, drop it down to 0.000, and let's go up to the value we need, 1.318, 1.349. Okay, so there isn't a 1.338, and he was right to point this out. He couldn't actually program it based on my data sheet. So I came back to my DX7, and lo and behold, there was a value of 1.338, but I was confused how I got it. Now if I go all the way up to 1.6, around that area, 1.622, 1.660, 1.698, and there we have 1.338, right after 1.698, which is strange. After 1.338, we have 1.778. So I wasn't sure if there was a bug with my DX7. So again, I had to stop and make sure that this was okay, make sure my DX7 was okay, because if this is wrong, then other parameters that I'm programming could also be wrong, which affects these tutorials. So it seems that it could be a common fault. So as we go through this tutorial, if you find that your course frequency value for any of your operators goes up in this weird incremental range, then please let me know in the comments below. It's something that is perplexing me, and I'm not sure if there is something wrong with my DX7 or if this is a common thing with all DX7s from the Mark 1 range. I've got 3 other variations of the vintage strings sound, by the way. Vintage strings 2 sounds like this. Vintage strings 3 sounds like this. And vintage strings 4 sounds like this. Now, of course, the DX7 doesn't have any effects, and vintage string sounds do benefit from having an ensemble, chorus, phaser, all of those types of modulation effects applied to them. So in the intro to this video, that's what I've done. I've applied ensemble and phaser just to dress it up a little. So what you're going to be getting in these tutorials and in the sysex files on my Patreon page are the raw string sounds. You will need to add some effects to liven it up a little. So again, apologies for a late video. We're back in business now, and this here is how you program vintage strings 1. Okay, so the first thing we do is we initialize a patch. This one uses algorithm 5. And starting with the output levels, operator 1 is 99, operator 2 is 80, operator 3 is 99, operator 4 is 80, operator 5 is 99, and operator 6 is 80. So all of our carriers are 99 and all of our modulators are 80. Operator 6 has the feedback loop, which goes to 7. Then we go to the frequency values. Operator 1 is in fixed frequency mode, so swap to that. Drop that down to 1 Hertz and go to fine frequency and increase that up to 1.622, 660, 698, and then the next value should be 0.338. Now, if this hasn't happened for you, please let me know in the comments below, and then I'll know that there is potentially something wrong with my DX7 here. I think my patron who pointed this out said yes, it's actually there. So it could be something that's common, and it's just an existing bug in the DX7 Mark I. But if you don't have the value of 1.338, feel free to use 1.698 or 1.778. Either of these will work. Okay, moving on to operator 2. We have a frequency of 0.99. Operator 3 is 2. Operator 4 stays at 1. Operator 5 stays at 1. And operator 6 goes to 1.01. Go to the LFO, select speed, and drop that down to 10. Select PMD, which is pitch modulation depth, and also make that 10. Then we go to our envelopes. Select operator 1 and adjust the rates accordingly. Rate 1 is 55. Rate 2 stays at 99, rate 3 stays at 99, and rate 4 drops down to 60. Press store and copy this to the other carriers, which are operator 3 and operator 5. Now go to operator 2, changing the rates only. And in this one, we only change rate 4 to 0. Press store, copy this to the other modulators, which are operators 4 and 6. And here you have Vintage Strings 1. A nice and easy patch, something that is really easy to work with. Feel free to adjust the fine frequency values on your modulators and also the output levels of your modulators, and you'll get lots of different tones that are quite easy to work with this particular setup. Again, if you're finding that your fixed frequency values have that strange 338 Hertz variation in there where it shouldn't be, please let me know in the comments below. And if you want to download the sysex files for Vintage Strings 2, 3, and 4, go over to my Patreon page, become a patron, and you'll be able to download not only those, but all of my other patches as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.